Last time I discussed a YouTuber that I grew up watching and later came to dislike. But this time I'm going to talk about a creator that I never liked, I was never a fan of. But I have also grown to dislike as the years have went on. Someone that I think is incredibly out of touch and has a serious ego problem. This person in question is the one and only Thogden. But before I go any further in this video, please do not forget to like the video, comment down below your opinion and what you'd like to see next. And finally, do not forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends. It really does help the channel out and help me grow. But without any further ado and shameless promotion out of the way, onto today's video. Thogden, real name Thogden, is a 22-year-old content creator from the UK. Who got his channel name from combining his first name and his last name, which is quite clever. You know, well, it's more clever than my channel name anyway, so. But moving on, start his channel in 2014, creating mostly FIFA videos, which are obviously very popular at the time. I remember during this time period, I'd come home from school, I'd watch a bit of KSI, My HD Gamer, and the Penfez, you know, FIFA 14, FIFA 15, you know, peak of FIFA YouTube really for me anyway. So anyway, these videos were obviously very popular at the time, but he would later start uploading matchday vlogs, with the first one being released on the 10th of January 2016, but more on that later. He'd also upload a bunch of cringe videos that I'm not going to cover them all here, because you know, this video would go on forever if I did that, and plus I don't want to put myself through that, because it's a difficult watch, very hard watch. I'll give you a few examples on screen so you can just see how difficult of an experience it is to sit through those videos.
Ring up stores and basically pretend I work there, give a random name and give a random reason, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. All I'm going to call up is Sainsbury's.
Good afternoon, Sainsbury's. My how can I help you?
Hi, I don't think I'll be able to make my shift later.
What department are you on?
I'm in the bakery.
Just stay with me and I'll put you through to the manager.
Alright, thank you.
Hello.
Hello, I don't think I'll be able to make my shift later.
What department do you work on?
Bakery.
The reason I mention these videos is just to show that even from a young age, Theo just wanted to make it. He wanted to get the most views possible, the most subscribers, and he wanted to be famous. He wanted to be in the public eye, because that's what this content is all about, really. That's what all these sort of videos were like. These videos that he uploaded, it's like when people do the 3 AM challenges, calling this person at 3 AM, and when JMX used to do strip FIFA. Sorry, I should not find that as funny as I do. But yeah, like, it was just all a ploy to get as many views as possible, to get the numbers up and just become the most successful person. It's not about the audience, it's about the creator and how much money they make. But as he grows up, will Theo snap out of his mindset and start doing what he wants to do because he enjoys it and because he wants to produce good content for his audience? Well, as I mentioned a minute ago, he would later branch out to vlogging content, but not just vlogging Bolton games, which is his boyhood club. He would also vlog top 6 Premier League games and Europa League and Champions League matches. And while this is where the negativity around Thogden's content and his career would really start to begin and gain some traction. As I just mentioned, Thogden would start vlogging games from other clubs, so not just Bolton, which was obviously the club like he was interested in. So even if he wasn't vlogging, he'd still be going to the games to watch the football. No, he'd be going to games such as Chelsea vs Man United, just for the whole reason to create content, which, you know, sounds good on paper. But then you look at it, and this idea would cause a lot of controversy, because Twitter pundits would point out that he's taking a ticket away from people that actually want to go and watch their favourite team, just so he can get content out of it. And this rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially the support your local crowd. But support your local crowd aren't really a big fan of me for obvious reasons. But moving on from that, a lot of the hate that Theo gets it is valid. Like, on this subject, a lot of the hate he gets is valid, but obviously some of it is over the top, goes a bit too far, just so people can be edgy online and also get some clicks and interactions on Twitter. But the issue I see with vlogging a match, from my perspective anyway, is that the atmosphere is the most important part of a football game. When you go to a football game, the atmosphere is what makes or breaks your experience. I'll use an example, right? I went to 2 separate away games in 2023 at St Mary's. I watched Man City lose 2-0 in the Carabao Cup in January, and I watched Bristol City lose 1-0 in the Championship in November. Even though I'm a huge City fan, Man City fan, I had a lot more fun, we'll call it, at the Bristol City game because the atmosphere was a lot more lively, whereas the Man City game sort of lived up to the stereotype with the crowd being dead and the vibe being just quite depressing. Like, obviously we were playing awful football, but Bristol City were also playing awful football. So both City in both games were playing awful football. But because the Bristol City fans were a lot more lively, a lot more into it, you know, a lot more chants going around, it was more bearable. But then I don't know, that might also be because I'm not as interested in them, so if they lose, it's no really skin off my nose. But watching Man City lose and the vibe being dead was kind of depressing. But anyway, the core point still stands. So I can 100% see why people get annoyed with Theo getting these tickets for the match, which leaves die-hard match-going fans out of pocket because, well, the atmosphere is what matters most. And if at the end of the day, everybody that's going to football matches is just some content creator that's just trying to squeeze a bit of money out of getting like a 5-10 minute video out of the match, and all the singing, chanting and all that goes because these people don't really care about the club, then yeah, the atmosphere does suffer, and actual match going fans aren't going to have as much fun. Because if you go to football matches, you know, the atmosphere is more than half of the experience, to be fair, because you could win and the atmosphere could still be dead and your mood could still be dampened. But anyway, Theo would work with Crypto.com in 2022 to try become the first person to watch every World Cup game live. And you might be thinking to yourself, that sounds like a cool, harmless concept, and how could this possibly go wrong? Well, as the tournament progresses to the latter stages of the group stage, multiple games are being played at the same time. So this would mean that Theo would have to leave a match and only spend probably a max of 15 minutes at these games to give him enough time to travel and get into the next stadium. Meaning that he took a ticket from someone who travelled across the across the world to see their country play in the biggest tournament in the world. And he did all of that for 5 minutes of content. And a bit of an ego boost to say that he was the first person ever to do something. Personally, I think this is a bit of a scummy move, because it is one thing to take a ticket for a game like the Chelsea United game that I mentioned earlier, and that being played in the same city or the same country as the fans of that club. But let's think, to take a ticket from, let's say, a Welsh fan, or a Welsh person, yeah, they travel to Qatar, because it's Wales' first ever World Cup, probably their last as well. But anyway, they travel all the way there, and they can't get a ticket because Theo wants to watch that game for max 10 minutes so he can be the first person to watch every World Cup game. I think that's crazy, and I think it's stupid, and I think, you know, he deserves all the hate he gets for that, because it's a stupid idea. It's a stupid idea, because people have spent lots and lots of money to travel to Qatar to watch these games, and he's had his, I'm 90% sure he had his flights paid for. I'll double check that, but he had his flights paid for by Crypto.com just so he could do this. So this was all funded for him, and he took away the experience from someone that probably saved up a lot of money to go see their country play at the World Cup. I think this is one of many out of touch instances of just Theo being an idiot, really, and being egotistical and being like, oh, look at me, I'm the first person to do something. And I personally think this is wrong. But Theo would obviously get public backlash for his little World Cup adventure, and he didn't react to it very well.
Line just going for me, people calling me a dickhead.
Does that stuff get to you?
Yeah, it does. I remember we had like some days where we were working 15 hours, going to 4 matches, running around. Then at the end of it, I was working with my editor to make sure what I want, and then the thumbnail, and then the title. And you finish like what is a 15-hour shift. People don't realize that because they just say, oh, you're going to football games.
Yeah.
But as you guys know, there's a lot more to it. After the game, you're on your phone, you're on your laptop working away. So when I was finishing days at like 2 a.m., and then there'd be a match at 10, so I'd be up at 8. So I'd be barely getting any sleep.
Yeah.
And I'd be checking Twitter at the end of the day, just saying like, what's this all for? Like, why do I bother? Why
And then you check the fucking bank account and
No, but it's not even about that.
No, I know what you mean. I get that.
But in the bigger scale, people think like money's such a big thing. It's really not. It's about memories. And when I think back to the World Cup, I made so many great times.
Yeah.
That's what I really enjoy. Like the fact that I was able to go to the World Cup.
And as you can see, this statement he made is absolutely ridiculous. As someone who, obviously, I don't do this YouTube thing full time, as you can see, as of recording this video, I've got 95 subs. Like, it would be outright insane for me to think this is my full-time job, because I don't even like have enough subs or whatever to make money from it. So this is a passion project. This is something I do on the side. I work 10-hour days at my actual job, and then I come home and I'll put an hour or two into my content, which I'm not going to complain about, because first of all, it is a part of life. Like, no matter what you do for a career, you've got to put time and effort into your work, and you've got to graft. You've got to put a graft and put some work in to reap the rewards. So we shouldn't pity him because he's getting hate for doing his job, because retail workers put up with that every day for a fraction of the reward. So okay, boo-hoo, people have said some not very nice stuff about you on the internet. You've made a huge bag from this. You really shouldn't care. He's not entitled to everyone's approval, and he should accept the fact that people don't like him and focus on his target audience. You know, we'll use one of my videos for example, my problem with Bristol City video. People don't like the fact that I live in Bristol, I support Manchester City. People don't like that. They made that very clear in the comments of that video. But those comments don't keep me up at night, because I know not everyone's going to agree with my life choices, with my opinions, and so be it. I'm just going to focus on the opinions of the people that actually enjoy my content, the opinions of, you know, the actual people in my life that opinions actually matter, not people that don't like me and are obviously going to say negative things about me. Yes, some criticism you should take on board and is, you know, warranted, but should you really let needless hate get to you? No, not really. But anyway, this is a toxic mindset that to be liked by everyone, and it holds a lot of creators back. And I'm not saying that it's held Theo back completely, because he's very successful, but I would say that he's ruined his public image, and he could definitely have, you know, a better reputation if he didn't just try to please everybody all the time. But, you know, that's just my opinion again at the end of the day. Moving on. It's not just the concept of these matchday vlogs that causes Theo problems in the court of public opinion. It's also the content in them as well. Let's start with the fact that he allegedly made up a story about being chased by Bulgarian ultras. This scary and traumatic experience would later be questioned, with other England fans coming out and saying that no such attack took place and this was all made up, and that all England fans were escorted by police back to their hotel after the game. Theo's credibility was now in question, with it being believed that he was profiting off of a fake story for clicks and podcast stories, because he would go on to tell this podcast on 2 separate podcast appearances. This controversy isn't really that deep, and I can understand why people aren't happy with him profiting off a potential lie, but it's not really that big of an issue. It just shows, again, he's in it for the money and will do anything to get views. But the same can't be said for the next incident we're going to discuss. So on the 17th of October 2021, Newcastle would host Spurs in the first game at St James's Park after the Saudi takeover. And unfortunately, during this game, a Newcastle fan would suffer a cardiac arrest and would need medical attention in the stands, which is a very serious matter, life-threatening situation to be in. But Theo, very, very wise Theo, would use this incident in his title and his thumbnail for shock value, for views, for clicks. He even went as far as use a zoomed in picture of the area in which the fan was being treated in his thumbnail, which is completely out of light. It's disgraceful at the end of the day. But if you look at the most viewed video on Theo's channel, it's calling out Logan Paul's Suicide Forest video, saying that that was disgraceful what he did. So maybe Theo knew all along that this wasn't the right thing to do, but he knew at the same time that a big paycheck would come his way with the amount of clicks that this would get and attention. So did the urge to get money overpower his moral compass? Who knows? Who knows? But this is by far the worst and most out of touch thing that he's done. By using these distressing scenes of someone's near-death experience for views, which is just an unspoken rule that you don't break, and it just shows again that Theo will still just do anything for views. And luckily, as I said, it was a near-death experience, because the Newcastle fan would pull through and make a recovery, which gives a positive end to the story. But these two incidents, like I said, both show that where Theo's intentions really lie and what his goals truly are. Actions like this are signs that a creator doesn't care about their audience and only cares about their bank account. And knowing their personality isn't good enough to garnish them the views that they desire, so they use loopholes instead. But again, that's just my opinion. That's what you get with these videos. Half facts, half my opinion. You know, if you don't like it, you can click off. But moving on to, I think, possibly the most interesting part of this video, you know, really puts the situation in perspective. For me, anyway. So there's a YouTuber called Vizza, and he made a very similar video into which the one I'm making now. And I took a lot of inspiration from his video, and I will link it down below because it's a very good video. But in his video, he more just covers the facts of the opinion and gives a bit more of an unbiased opinion, because he doesn't really have positive or negative, like, an opinion on Thogden, which is fair enough. Like, you know, you don't have to like someone, you don't have to dislike someone, you can, you know, be in the middle. But Theo would react to this video by saying that he respects the neutral stance of Vizza Turk whilst covering the topic, and he likes the video, and he likes that style of video that he makes. Well, Theo's dad, who is also YouTuber Thogdad, didn't have the same opinion on this video, viewing it as a hit piece, which is quite ironic because Stephen would go on to question Viz's character and also go on to mention his 1-year-old daughter, which, you know, it's not a good look for a middle-aged bloke, I must say. Stephen also tries to link Viz's video to the fact that him and Theo didn't accept the invitation to his wedding, which again is just main character syndrome at the end of the day, really. Personally speaking, like, oh, this person made a video which isn't even inherently negative about my son. Oh, it's probably because he's salty that we didn't turn up to his wedding because we've got better things to do. Again, Vizza in his video says that that's not the case, so it was just a huge reach from Stephen, and, you know, it just shows where his mind's at, really. And I think the whole response just reeked of insecurity and ego, like thinking he's above everyone else and should be viewed in a positive light. Because as much as I don't really like Theo, his response to the video that he gave Vizza, which is shown in his video, is a good response, and it's definitely the response you should have when someone makes a neutral video on you, like, or just a video on you in general. Like, you just keep the, you know, professional act, you know, say what you liked about the video, and, you know, if it bothers you and all that, then just keep it to yourself and don't make a big deal out of it. But, you know, his dad, on the other hand, just went into straight attacking in Vizza. And yes, I understand that a parent would want to protect their son from criticism, but at the end of the day, like, this wasn't the way to go about it, because Vizza would then reach out to him and well, reach out to both of them, really, and go, oh, would you like to have a call, we can straighten this out privately without having to, like, you know, make a big deal about it on social media. And Stephen would reply by saying he will not call with Vizza because he doesn't interact with trolls, which is pathetic and immature for a middle-aged man. And there are other smaller issues that people have with Thogden, which aren't just this pathetic response to someone making a video about his son. With one of them being that he's cringe. And yes, it is a fair criticism because he does conduct himself in a cringe manner. But again, it's not that deep. He can act however he wants on camera. People probably think I'm cringe. It's not that deep. But it is worth mentioning because I personally think it's true. And another reason people don't like him is because Thogdad is part of the Conservative Party. Which I do find funny because Stephen and Theo, they are textbook Tories at the end of the day. And it makes a lot of sense. But I personally don't think it's that big of an issue on what your political stance is. But again, the whole public perception of a Tory isn't positive. They fit the bill for a stereotypical Tory. I think it's just funny to mention. It's not that deep. The main issue at hand in this segment is his poor response to Viz's video. And I just think, like, you know, just go watch. Viz made a response to Stephen's claims on that video, which I'll also link down below because you get a better insight of what Thogden's views on the situation are. But like, it's just pathetic, really, and he should know a lot better. But again, you know, they both think that they should be seen as bigger than everybody else, better than everybody else, and that should be liked by everyone because they make videos on the internet talking about football. Like, get a grip, man. Like, it's not that deep. The video he made isn't that deep, and the response you gave is pathetic. Because he also said that Theo was being sarcastic in his response. So he basically threw his son under the bus and tried to get him involved when Stephen was the only one with the issue at the end of the day. But enough to talk about Thogden because he's just a bit of a melt, if I'm honest. Let's move on to the next topic. In 2022, James Trafford joined Bolton on loan from Manchester City, and an ongoing joke would spawn from this, saying that Trafford is Thogden's brother, because apparently they look alike. I don't personally see the resemblance, but here we are. Anyway, this cringe joke would lead to a young fan, and I mean young, would approach Thogden at a Bolton game and show him this signed glove that Trafford, a signed Trafford glove. And I'll play the clip for you now.
Michael, what's this?
It's Trafford's glove from last season.
Glove from last season, yeah? What, my brother?
Yeah,
It's signed as well?
Yep.
Mate, you want to give this to me?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to send you some. I'm going to sort you out, okay? Legend, take care. Are we winning today?
Hopefully 3-1.
Lucky glove before we get in the ground. What a guy. Trafford's got off from last.
And as you can see in this video, Theo just assumes that it's a gift to him and takes the glove. Personally, I feel like the lad felt a bit pressured into giving him the glove because, you know, Theo's a lot older than him and it's also on camera. And he also sees Thogden as a bit of a celebrity. So, in my opinion, not saying this is 100% what happened, but the kid felt pressured and gave over the glove. And obviously at the end, he says that he'll sort the lad out, he'll sort him out, he'll do something in return for that kind gesture. Well, after he got backlash on social media for this clip, Theo starts asking if anyone can provide him with the kid's socials so he can send the glove back because he realised that it's not a good look on him. Which is fine. You know, he's going to rewrite his wrong. But how was he going to sort him out, like he said in the video, if he didn't have his contact information? So is he just going to leave it and let it blow over and not do anything for him in response? Really, really does make you think. But again, it's a textbook example of him thinking he's entitled to whatever he wants when he wants. He wanted that glove, so he took it. That's my opinion on it. You can say whatever you want, but my opinion is he wanted that glove, so he sort of manipulated the kid into giving it to him. He didn't outright snatch it, but he did manipulate the kid into giving it up, which I don't think is right at the end of the day, especially given how young the lad was. But again, just typical out of touch, high and mighty behaviour. And well, this leads me on to my conclusion. So you lot thought you'd get a whole video of us seeing my beautiful face. Well, I'm back with the face cam for my conclusion to this video. And two things I'm going to say before I get into the conclusion. Yes, this time you'll actually be able to hear me. I did realise that was a mistake after I uploaded the video, because it kind of got like, there's kind of an issue when rendering the video, and it went back to a previous saved format, which is when before I turned down the music. And two, if you can hear there's a bit of an issue with my voice, it's because New Year's Eve completely wrote me off. Like it's bad. Like, I don't know what I caught, but it's not steady. But anyway, enough of the waffling. My conclusion to this video is just, I think, as I've mentioned in a lot of the points before, is he's a very out of touch person, is Theo, and he's clearly very privileged with everything he does, and you know he's very lucky to do a lot of the things he does, but the sense of entitlement and sense of thinking that he deserves whatever he wants when he wants, he should get what he wants when he wants, and like the fact that he's immune from criticism and everyone should like him is just like such an unrealistic way of looking at the world. It's such a privileged way of looking at the world. And yes, he's still young. I think he's only 2 years older than me. So yeah, he's still got time to grow and learn. But a mindset like that, especially given the privileged position he's in, where he gets to make money doing what he enjoys, doing what he loves, it's gonna be difficult for him to break. And obviously, like I hope he does break that mindset and become a bit of a better person. Better person. Yeah, we'll say better person. Hopefully he does become a better person. But I personally can't see it happening. Like, I don't want to hate him. I don't want to dislike him. I don't hate him, but I do dislike him. I dislike his content, and I just dislike the way he carries himself, because it's kind of, again, links back to the last True Geordie video. When someone's not relatable, I find it very difficult to engage in their content, listen to what they have to say, and just enjoy their content. And obviously, like I said in my last video, Geordie used to be relatable, used to be quite down to earth, and I enjoyed that. But Theo isn't. But I think he thinks he is. I think he thinks he's relatable. He thinks that he's relatable, but he's not. And some of the funniest clips you'll see of him are when there's one, I think it's a Portugal game where he stood in front of the crowd and he keeps going like, "Sui," like, like Ronaldo, and the crowd are doing it, and he thinks he's conducting it when he's not. And it is, if I can find it, I'll put it on screen, because it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But yeah, no, I think he thinks he's relatable. I think he thinks that his fans relate to him, but like 9 times out of 10 they won't. And the reason he gets a lot of hate, and the criticism's deserved, but I think I might have misspoke earlier in the video. He doesn't deserve the hate he gets, but he deserves the criticism he gets, because some of the hate he gets is a bit too far. Like, some of them are quite jerks, but it's also too far at the same time. Like, some of it just doesn't need to be said. But the stuff that needs to be said is the stuff like the stuff with the glove that I mentioned previous, the stuff with the Newcastle thing, that all needs to be said. And even the stealing tickets, to an extent, even though like that one's a bit of like a mixed bag of what you're going to find someone's opinion on that topic, is it's also, like, some might say he deserves it, some might say he doesn't, but like the criticism on that is valued. But some of the flout hate is a lot, is a bit too much, especially for someone, like I said, he's only 2 years older than me, so like a young lad shouldn't be getting that hate. But the criticism he definitely deserves, because it can help him become a better person. Will it help him become a better person? Who knows? But I think that things will just go a lot better for him, and he would have people actually like him, because obviously, like I said, he wants people to like him. He wants everyone to like him. And I feel like he would get that if he just what's the word? Evaluated his actions and evaluated the way he conducts himself, and just think, wow, okay, I can see where these people are coming from. Maybe if I change this, maybe if I change that, more people might like me. But he also doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to change. But if he doesn't change, he can't get upset at people for not liking him. And I feel like that is my biggest gripe with him. Not the fact that he's not relatable, not the fact that he's, you know, a bit of an idiot, that he's, you know, maybe using the tragedy, or the tragic act that happened at Newcastle, you know, dislike that. That was out of order. So was the glove thing. But, like, you know, I think the thing that I hate about him, well, not hate, dislike about him as a whole, is the fact that he just thinks everybody should like him. It's such an annoying trait that that's a lot of content creators have, because they're in the public eye and they're like, oh, well, everyone should like me. Like, I'm so nice, I'm so relatable, I'm so cool. It's just like, this, at the end of the day, like, it's not that deep, you know. I look at some of my comments sometimes, and someone might not say something nice, and I'm not gonna, like, I don't sit there and think, oh, how can I win over Manchester United fan 26? How can I make him like me? No, it's just like, okay, that's his opinion, fair enough, he can think that. Find it funny that he's taken the time out of his day to write down his opinion, his negative opinion on me, but I don't care. Not everyone needs to like me. Not everyone needs to like you. Not everyone needs to like Theo. And that's the thing that a lot of people, Theo included, need to learn. But, you know, enough of me waffling in this conclusion, because I probably am just going over a bunch of stuff that I already said in the video. But I just wanted to reiterate a lot of these points. But yeah, I've been Nathan. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope it's been an improvement on the last one, where I've improved a few of the areas where it needed improving. Comment your opinions down below. Comment what you want to see next down below. Don't forget to like the video. I put a lot of effort into this video, and don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. It really does help the channel out. We're currently 3 subscribers away from 100 subs, which would be amazing to hit in the next few days. But yeah, I've been Nathan. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Roll down, shut down cases. They belly dots to the can't see faces. Chasing the bad guy chasing. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like GTA trying to turn them out wasted. Aye, tell a bad bitch come break it. Body come mad, come shake it. Shit then, get back to the basics. Roll down, shut down cases. They belly dots to the